The National Football Conference's San Francisco 49ers play the American Football Conference's Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 54 in Miami, Florida. This year's Super Bowl Sunday commercials, you know I'm going to have to say something about them. 77 in all, will draw $400 million in revenue for Fox. The network charges up to $5.6 million for a 30-second commercial to air nationally. Local spots that appear in your viewing area are also available at a much lower rate. Why the big bucks? Well, because the Super Bowl remains the most watched program in the United States, luring in at least 100 million viewers for the, quote, big game, their commercials, and their 12-minute halftime entertainment. On Thursday of this week, in the wake of Kobe Bryant's death, Jennifer Lopez and Shakira said they plan to use their Super Bowl halftime show to convey a message that life is so fragile, and that is why we have to try and live every moment as intensely as we can. They stopped short of saying they would dedicate their performance to the former Los Angeles Lakers basketball great who died in a helicopter crash 1 week ago today in Calabasas, California. His daughter Gigi and 7 others on board all perished. The cause of the accident is still under investigation, but fog was a factor. Back to today's commercials. A Microsoft 60-second ad features Katie Sowers, as I mentioned in my podcast yesterday, the first woman coach in a Super Bowl. She's the other famous 49ers coach. Buzz has surrounded that team's defensive coach, Robert Saleh. More on him in a moment. Other celebrities making commercial appearances include Jimmy Fallon, who stars in a spot for Michelob Ultra about his dislike of the gym, and Rachel Dratch jokes about Boston accent in an ad for Hyundai. But that doesn't preclude some hard-hitting messages, such as the NFL's PSAs about the police shooting deaths. The death of NBA star Kobe Bryant led planters to pause a Super Bowl-related online ad campaign showing the apparent death of its company icon, Mr. Peanut. And, of course, politics will be there as well. Both President Donald Trump and Democratic presidential candidate Michael Bloomberg are each spending up to $11 million for commercials to run during the big game. Most advertisers will be using humor or celebrities in their ads, except one, and that's the one that tugs on my heartstrings. Google's 90-second ad is one of the few ads this year that features a man reminiscing about his wife using the Google Assistant feature to pull up old photos of her and past vacations. I'm into photography. I love photos. I love Google. I'm a huge Google fan. I back up everything to Google Photos. I use Google Docs, so I'm big on Google. Another one of my favorites is Cheetos. Brings back the MC Hammer classic, "You Can't Touch This," a 30-year-old song. The snack food ad features a man with orange Cheetos dust on his hands, and he can't stop moving furniture or performing other office tasks. Hammer is actually in there himself, and he bops in and out, uttering his iconic 30-year-old catchphrase. Not to be outdone, the snack chip Doritos is banking on Old Town Road, that smash hit of the summer by Little Nas. And so they've got a Western-themed ad that they're going to be showing. And then there's, of course, going to be a cameo by Billy Cyrus in that ad. 2 others that I want to mention are Facebook is going to have its first ever Super Bowl ad. We haven't seen anything yet, but we understand that The star of Rocky himself, Sylvester Stallone, will be with comedian Chris Rock to promote the social media site's Groups feature. That 60-second ad, we're told, should run sometime late in the game during the fourth quarter. And then finally, Amazon has an ad starring Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi talking about life before Alexa. What was life before Alexa? There's more, of course. There's beer and, you guessed it, Pepsi. So now our first story. It takes place in Miami Gardens, Florida, where the stadium is located tonight, Hard Rock Stadium. That's where Super Bowl 54 will be played. And it just so happens that one of the star players, a rookie named Rashad Fenton for the Kansas City Chiefs, used to work at the stadium when he was in high school. Remember how I told you, like, the media likes to peg people rags to riches in a game that is littered with money? Well, this story about Rashad Fenton that I want to share with you is important because it does represent hope. And you know, every boy probably has a dream to play for either, a big basketball team or football team. Hockey's big here in Detroit. Any type of a sport, whether you love, football or sport, any type of sport. Well, Rashad happened to be the lucky one, okay? It's an unusual story as the AP, pegs it. He worked at Hard Rock Cafe on Sundays when he was in high school. He helped out in the concession operations during the Miami Dolphins games. And now here he is tonight, walking into that stadium to do a new job. He won't be walking back home like he did when he was in high school. He is going to be playing in tonight's Super Bowl. That's a long way for someone to come. So there is hope for everyone. Don't worry whether you're blue collar or not. In my next story, in my next segment, I want to share with you a story of another player in tonight's game. Now on to Robert Saleh. He's from Dearborn, my hometown. We're all rooting for him. He came from Fortson High School, one of the 3 high schools in our town. There's Dearborn High, Etzel Ford, and Fortson. Now, Robert Saleh is one of the most sought after coaches in the NFL. Just last week, we're told that he interviewed for the top job with the Cleveland Browns. Right now, he is with the San Francisco Defense. He is going to be coaching in tonight's Super Bowl. And we are all so proud of him from our hometown, Dearborn, Michigan, just outside of Detroit, Michigan. Now, with Robert Saleh, he's also another, I don't want to say rags to riches, but basically he gave up a very good paying job in banking to go and pursue his dream because he just wasn't happy because he wasn't on the field. Now, he couldn't continue playing after college because of, injuries and just a toll on his body. But he wanted to be on the field. So he gave up an entry-level credit analyst job at Comerica Bank to pursue this title to work in the Super Bowl tonight. Well, he didn't know he was going to make it to the Super Bowl. In fact, he had a backup plan that if by the age 30 he didn't make it, he'd go back to that job. So here is a man who has pursued a dream, raised a family, has 6 children. How do you do this? How do you go from here to there? We're not surprised because we know the mindset of the son of a Lebanese American immigrant. How we come here, we work hard. It doesn't matter whether your father is blue collar or not. We know that everything is available to us. There is no avenue, no career that we cannot pursue, because that's how we look at America. America is where your dreams come true. Actually, a lot of the people, the initial immigrants that came to Dearborn, a lot of them who heard about America, initially it was through missionaries, and other immigrants were told that America is the land of milk and honey. Well, for Robert Saleh, his dreams came true. Now, in our town, the hometown of Henry Ford, we all know the story of the industrialist who started Ford Motor Company. But we have many other stories in our town of the entrepreneurial spirit of people who came here with $20 in their pocket, holes in their socks, and made a life. And that's who Robert Saleh comes from, a family of hardworking immigrants who made it through the ranks, made a decision in his life to give up an $800 a week job to pursue a career. He was earning $5 an hour working in a summer camp in the hopes of becoming a graduate assistant. Now that's taking a chance on yourself. But he believed in himself, and he did it. Now, no one is promised tomorrow. No one is promised a big story in the Detroit News, by the AP, in the Washington Post. No one knows what the future holds for you. We all know, of course, it's not going to be easy. But today we reflect on years of work, hard work, and he made it. You can too. Don't give up. Do it. Make sure that you don't give up and you keep going. That is what today represents for us. Kids, from as far as they can, walk, are carrying around footballs, playing basketball. If you go down any street in America, you've got basketball hoops up and down the streets. People are playing in the alleys. It's a pastime that keeps kids out of trouble, but it also means careers for some of us. Now, not everyone makes it, and I know that a lot of people grow up with dashed hopes and kind of like a bitter taste in their mouth that they didn't make it. And to all of you, I'm very sorry, but there's always a chance. Don't give up. Like for me, I left journalism and I pursued a career in law. I walked away from something that I loved, and for 15 years, it was tugging on me in the back of my mind that, this is what you love. This is who you are. This is what you were meant to do. And today, I'm back at it because it's something inside of you. Remember how I told you I'm not going to be the type of person that's going to try to tell you how to figure out what your life purpose is, because that's a scam and people know inside what they want to do. You do too. Just look inside. Sit quietly. And today, before the big game, know that if that's what you want to do, that could be you in the Super Bowl. Maybe not a player, maybe not a coach. There are all kinds of roles, and there's so many people that go into today's game, and so many hard workers that are part of a team. Whatever role that you think that you can provide, go out and do it, because the world needs you.